grilled cheese tortilla shell of the shredded beef dippy taco and the $9 bots. You may even let the Lutz go to your head. Get your $5, $7, or $9 Lutz bots today. Only at Taco Bell. Limited time at participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary. Freezes and specialty drinks not included. Tats extra.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Lots of sunshine today, but we can't rule out an isolated storm across the north. Highs around 90 with southwest winds becoming northwest at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly clear to partly cloudy tonight. Can't rule out an isolated storm with lows around 70. Mostly sunny on Tuesday with highs in the 80s. I'm Matthew Harding with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather information is brought to you by The Solid Rock, your source for inspirational gifts, home decor, women's boutique items, personalized Bibles, and more.
The Solid Rock will soon be celebrating 50 years as a locally owned source for inspirational gifts. From greeting cards and women's boutique items to custom laser engraving and a large selection of Bibles, they offer something for everyone. While you are there, browse their faith-based books, music, clothing, home decor, and unique, hard-to-find treasures for the whole family. And their Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Located next to the Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock. Share the spirit, enjoy the inspiration. 452-4844.
Razorback fans, get ready. Post Malone is coming to Razorback Stadium on Saturday, July 11th, 2026. Don't miss this huge night of live music right here in Fayetteville featuring Post, Jelly Roll, and Carter Bates. Tickets are available now starting at just $65. Get yours today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 96 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
And the next pitch coming. That's it. Swung on and missed. Strike three. And Kansas wins the Lawrence Regional. Final score is 13-10. Hogs go 2-2 in the regional, losing to Kansas twice.
Took advantage of 3 or 4 mistakes we made today. Didn't turn double play ball and had a couple outfielders run into each other, and I could go on and on. That was a little bit of the issue with this year's team. We didn't have enough starting pitching. We had some guys that were pretty good in the bullpen, but they didn't have enough of a mix to get you out more than a few innings is what I saw. So we're working on that for the future. Yeah, we're losing 2 big time leaders that have made their mark with Arkansas Razorback baseball and me personally. We'll be in the portal pretty good.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, produced by Colton Little.
With Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
This is the Morning Rush.
Well, the Kansas Jayhawks finally beat the Arkansas Razorbacks in something postseason-wise. Arkansas baseball falls in an elimination game 13-10 last night at Hoagland Ballpark following a kind of weird weekend and a bad weekend for Razorback athletics. Softball team gets drilled by UCLA, and that game's closed out in early innings. And then you compete yesterday. You managed to win 10-9 against Northeastern in another elimination game, and then just didn't have enough pitching last night. Plenty to react to here in the next 2 hours. Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Colton Little. We're still live in Lawrence this morning. And, guys, just didn't have enough pitching yesterday, did you?
No, didn't have outside of Dietz and his awesome performance. It was really kind of the weekend was somewhat of just to carry forward what the entire season has been. Dietz gives you what he's got generally on a Friday night, and then you piece together and hope to outslug your opponent the other 2 games in a weekend. That's kind of what it's been, and Arkansas got their bats hot at the right time at the end of the regular season and into the SEC tournament. Someone asked me yesterday, do you think we can get out of this 3-game mess here? I said, I think you'll have to score 40 runs. We'll never find out if they could, but that's kind of the pace they were on and really what they needed. So, in the end, the bats failed them, and the bullpen, was just not enough.
Was not. Quick text here from Ryan in Prairie Grove. Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. If you get some calls, you can text 877-377-6963. Great stat from Corey Stewart, SpearhatStats.com. Arkansas now, in the last 19 regional appearances, is 0-10 in games when they don't start 2-0. Like, they don't advance to the Supers. So that's the key.
Hang on a second. I want to ask this question because I don't know. I hate to ask you a question that we don't have the answer already researched.
Okay.
But I'm just doing the math when you say that. And I know all those stats are right. Does that take us back to Brady Toops?
0-4. Yeah, well,
So was Brady Toops the last time Arkansas didn't start 2-0, they got out of the regional?
Correct.
Wow.
Wichita State.
That puts it into the context of that seems like 2 lifetimes ago when Brady Toops hit the Grand Slam heard round the world, right? That really established Arkansas baseball in the modern era here as a statewide sport. Mm-hmm. That's the last time they advanced out of a regional where they didn't start 2-0.
Yeah, following
Holy
weekend,
smokes.
They beat Florida State
right?
To go to the College World Series for the first time under Dave Van Horn. But yeah, it's been a while, and I would guess, Tommy, I don't know, but the majority of these teams across the board, whether they play in the SEC or not, I don't know if it's exactly that stat where they just can't get out of a regional if they don't win, but it's pretty seldom that when you go to the losers bracket, you win, especially when you're on the road. In an environment, by the way, that we'll get into and some of the antics that went on this weekend. I'm going to stand alone. I thought it was an awesome place for baseball this weekend. And I know there were some things that happened that aren't exactly friendly and shouldn't occur in a college sporting event. But all in all, I really did think it was a great atmosphere for college baseball this weekend. And when you look across the board at some of these regionals, SEC or not, I mean, there were just Morgantown, West Virginia looked unbelievable. How about Little Rock advancing, going to the Super Regional under Coach Curry? I mean, there were some great things that happened in college baseball this weekend.
It was just a bad weekend, though. I mean, the damn Thunder lose in Game 7. The softball team just didn't have what it needed, and then the baseball team. I mean, what? There. I mean, I guess we're now going to root for the Knicks. Because I'm going to root for the Knicks for Colton's sake.
Yeah.
And then what's left? I mean, I guess I'll root for UALR. Hang on, Christian. That is the worst job of taping a schedule up I have ever seen in my life. All right.
What is it?
I said here. I tore down the baseball schedule. Said tape up the football schedule. Look at this. Look at this.
I can't see.
Oh, it's just it's cockeyed. It's crooked. And this just leave it alone. We'll do it live. We'll do it during the break. It is halfway on the end of the console here, and it is wrinkled.
Not good.
It's not good. F minus.
you bring up, all right, so there's plenty of frustration with how this season concluded. You felt like you were in a ballpark that wasn't all, and I'm not including myself in this, but so many fans felt like that Arkansas was playing in a ballpark that was beneath them. And we saw the team that they played wasn't beneath them in Kansas. That's a good ball club that we'll see what happens with Georgia Tech and Oklahoma, but that's going to be hopefully a good super regional. I think one of the things that people are also frustrated, not just because of the fielding errors that we saw countless times this year that we hadn't seen in what seems like a decade, not because just you didn't really have anyone as a starting pitcher outside of Dietz, and McElvain I know had to start yesterday. He's been nails, but other than that, it's just been all over the place. Hitting got a lot better through the duration, but I honestly think one of the reasons you saw, like I didn't expect him to go far in postseason. I had him losing this weekend. I was hoping I would be the jinx that caused him to move on. But there's just not a lot of excitement and buzz around the football in 96 days from now. And so, like, you're holding on to something that you know is successful, that's been a staple for the athletics department for 20-plus years. And when the final out occurred yesterday, when I think Pompey struck out, then it was like, well, we don't have anything positive really till basketball season, right? That's where I think again, and there's always frustration, there's always disappointment when the baseball season concludes, whether it's in Omaha like last year or in Lawrence, Kansas like this year. But I think that also plays a role into why fans are upset. It's because, like, man, I just don't feel that good about this football season.
Lewis Automotive Group hotline open. How do you feel this morning? Calls, text, welcome, 877-377-6963. I don't know what I do want to hear what you think, but I really want to know how you feel, because I feel like Ty just described. I've got to find a way to get excited about football in 96 days, and normally my brain works around the fact that we're going to talk about baseball through most of June.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we can't talk about this baseball team we got another day or two, and that's it. So I am used to our content centering around that, my focus, my excitement, and then, we'll pick up football topics here on the show, somewhere around July 4th. We got a whole another full month to talk about Ryan Silverfield and this football team.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about that?
Which, by the way, they got a commitment from a 4-star kicker and a 5-star punter over the weekend. Yeah. Balls deep, as Chad Lunsford likes to say.
Yeah. So,
their special teams coach.
Hell yeah. 877-377-6963. All right, describe this, because I only know what I read online. I only know of a few of the comments made by the ESPN announcers this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Was it as contentious?
Oh, yeah.
And was it as
oh, yeah.
I mean, it sounded like a bar fight was ready to break out a real tinderbox there at Hogland all weekend long from what you read online.
I don't know what person in charge thought it was a good idea to put the Kansas student section next to the Arkansas parents behind the Razorbacks dugout. I don't know who cleared that. I don't know why that couldn't have been changed. But, Tommy, there was some contention on Friday. The teams didn't even play. Like, I would look down at the beer lines, like where we were sitting in right in front of the press box area. You had a direct shot at what the beer lines, and I would see Arkansas, Missouri fans trying to chat a little bit. But you saw Kansas and Arkansas fans. They hadn't even played yet. And so I was like, okay, you saw the animosity on social media. That doesn't always mean what it is in real life.
Right. That's what I want to ask you.
Yeah. And then the game obviously occurred, and it was a back and forth. It was up 3-1, and then they tied it with the 2-run shot. There were allegations, and I didn't see it. I saw the cops intervene. Our buddy Robert Teague at Teague Law Firm was sitting next to me, and he pointed at the section. And at that point, there were 4 or 5 cops that got in between the two sections, and you saw some people walking out. So I did not personally see beer thrown. I was told by someone in that section that a beer missed him by a foot. Somewhere, I think Ryder's little brother said that
like
someone
our
else.
pitching.
Yeah. I think Ryder's little brother or cousin or someone had said, like, someone had to get, like, medical attention. So there was it was pretty hostile. I don't think that was overblown, to be honest. I saw it. I didn't see, again, the beer throw, but I saw a lot of the aftermath, and that was an intense hostility between the Arkansas parents and the Kansas students. Not a good idea.
I wanted to get a feel, because just reading, Facebook comments, reading Twitter comments from the weekend, it appeared as though this was like, they needed to be separated. I read where security said, we're going to have to start hauling people out of here, Yeah.
And
I didn't know if it, sometimes this stuff gets exaggerated. And I didn't know if that was an exaggerated social media hyped up take, or if that was really what the feel of the place was.
I was talking. I met, and it's Brian something. I forget the last name of their play-by-play guy, and we were just talking after the game about the postseason battles. It's these two. All this weekend, to me, portrayed was another reason these schools should play each other in
100%.
sports. And I don't know. Like, I didn't have it, and I still don't. Like, I've been treated great since we've been here. But the back and forth between Kansas and Arkansas fans, the battles that you've had on the gridiron, on the court, and in this case, the diamond this weekend, the proximity of the two campuses, why not? Why not play Kansas in future sports moving forward?
And I know they hate Missouri, and they've started that series back up in football, but I'm with you. This should be an annual basketball You should at least play once a year in basketball in November or December. You know, maybe it's not a home and home each year. You're not going to play them twice, but you go there, they come here, you know, that type of thing, so that the fans can enjoy it. 100%. And I think in baseball, this should be a March weekend every year. You should go there. They should come here. I don't want to meet in the middle in Tulsa. I don't want to meet anywhere else. I want to play in our real ballpark and then their dump every other year.
Let me put it to you this way. I have felt more of a back and forth sense in this weekend alone than I've felt every single year combined of the Battle Line rivalry. It's not even close.
And this is baseball. That's not supposed to get that heated. Yeah.
Exactly. I felt that there was more tenacity, more animosity, more back and forth in this 1 weekend alone between fan bases than I felt since Arkansas and Missouri started playing in football years ago.
Yeah. Lee from Springdale has texted on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, let's play them in KC. No, that's a home game for them. I want to play in Hogland, and I want to play in Baum Walker. We got too many neutral site events going on in our sports universe here as Razorback fans already. The fans that pay the bills, that buy the season tickets, need to be treated. And I think this would be a tremendous non-conference series. Now that you got, we used to play Texas, some of the non-con. Obviously, they're a conference opponent. You've had USC in here. You've had some teams. This would be great. And for a weekend road trip, how far is it to Kansas City? 45 minutes.
If that.
You can go eat and go eat some barbecue. You can hang out in KC a little bit and go to the baseball game. So I think it'd be a great series to get started.
Mm-hmm. Campus to campus, Tommy. It's about 3 hours and 45 minutes, give or take. So yeah, I'm with you wholeheartedly, 100%. All right, give you a setup what we're going to talk about today. Opening drive coming up. We'll talk about how the softball season concluded. Some crazy stuff that happened in college baseball this weekend, including the number 1 overall seed UCLA Bruins going down. I don't think anyone expected that. Let's see. Little Rock's moving on. You mentioned the Thunder falling in San Antonio. Knicks and Spurs. This Wednesday, right?
Wednesday
That's when the
night.
final start?
Yeah.
Okay. Cal had some interesting thoughts on the SEC tournament. You can now get your driver's license on your Apple wallet. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
One of 13 states, apparently. It's National Thank God It's Monday Day. Have you ever said, man,
Never.
thank God it's Monday?
No.
Matt Grissom, who was here, College Baseball Insider and College Baseball Central, he was in Lawrence this weekend covering the teams. We'll get a chance to talk with him. And then we've got a dozen texts right now we needed to get to on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline as well.
You mentioned the NBA Finals. They begin Wednesday at 7:30. Right now, the Spurs are favored by how much, guys? Any guesses? Have y'all seen?
Ooh, I bet that spread's tight. Colton, you want to give it a whirl?
I'm going to say it's 4.5 point spread.
Okay. I'm going to say it's like 2.5.
Colton is correct. 4.5. The Spurs are favored over the Knicks. Games 1 and 2 in San Antonio. Bet Saracen has all of that there, plus Arkansas early football lines. You'll have college baseball and a whole lot more. MLB. It's all on the Bet Saracen app. 4.5. Well, Wemby just took over there in that Game 7.
Yeah. Oof.
Put Chet in a body bag.
Yeah, Chet's going to go one of two ways. His career's either going to go into the toilet, or that dunk where he got baptized is going to cause him to put on some weight in the offseason. We'll see what ends up happening there. All right. So one team's season ended in Lawrence, Kansas. The others ended in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And unfortunately, the final game did not go so well.
That sucked. I realized it was never about softball, but about how God used it to reveal himself to me in both the highs and the lows. Throughout my career, God has provided coaches, teammates, and mentors that will be in my life forever. I have made memories on and off the field that one day I hope to tell my kids about. I know that it was never about the wins or awards, but it was about the relationships I would build, the resilience I would find, and ultimately the life I would discover in Christ that cannot be found in a game. So thank you, Lord, for softball and all the ways you've used it for your purposes.
This is the standard now. I really believe that this is a new era of Arkansas softball, and now that we've done it, that's going to be the expectation every single year.
This is the opening drive.
All right, so last clip there you heard from Elle McDowell. who's a sophomore on this team, losing so many seniors on this squad, Aaron, Heron, Wyckoff, and others, they finally burst through, right? They finally got to Oklahoma City. Their season, obviously, 11-0 to UCLA in 5 innings. It's not how they wanted it to conclude, but there's now a standard and expectation moving forward. And, Tommy, you were kind of talking about it before the show. Are they going to get there every year? No.
Baseball doesn't,
but kind of the same mindset as baseball. Every 3 or 4 years, I think Coach Stiefel and company expect to be in Bricktown.
Brady Toops hit that grand slam. You beat Florida State 2 out of 3, and you went 0-4. And you didn't go back again till 2009. I mean, it took a while for Arkansas to become what I would say a perennial favorite to be at the College World Series. And obviously this year, you're not even going to the Supers. You don't go every year. So, is this a program that's going to make it 3 out of 5? I don't know. But softball, I think nationally may be tougher in the SEC than baseball in a lot of ways. So, but you broke through. You've got to this level. We'll see what happens next. But don't expect them to be there every year. But what they should be is a program that is a contender for Oklahoma City every year. And I think they're already on that path.
Yeah, and again, they are losing a ton of talent off this year's squad. But you could say the same. I mean, when you lost probably the most notable in Bree Ellis last year. So this is similar to what Arkansas baseball has to go through. The talent that you accumulate, especially if that's out of the portal, you only have it for 1 or 2 years, and then they move on to the next level.
Most important thing is you found your coach, you have found your leader, you have found the face of your program. Do whatever the hell you got to do to keep her.
You know what's crazy about her? Arkansas has 29 NCAA tournament victories. She has 22 of those.
Yeah, I mean,
there's only 7 outside of Courtney Deifel's leadership that have occurred outside of her being here.
Whatever you got to do to ensure she's here, because she's been here, is it 10 or 11 seasons? I know since 15.
15.
So, I mean, point is, she needs to have the kind of years run that we're, I know Dave's getting towards the end of his, but this is year 24 for Dave? We need to be talking about her in year 20-something, 10 years from now. That's how important her role is here, and she is the one that's made it all happen with the athletes she brought in, the players she's gotten, the program she's built. Courtney Deifel is the straw that stirs the drink.
So let me ask you a twofold question. I'm going to pay attention to Little Rock this weekend. I'll look at scores. Softball's also had a good weekend as well in Oklahoma City in terms of entertainment. Are you going to watch any of the remaining Women's College World Series, or is
Probably
that
not.
just kind of gone by the wayside?
I mean, I think I'm like most people. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, but once the Razorbacks are out of the College World Series, or out of the postseason in baseball, or the Women's College World Series, I don't pay a lot of attention to the event. And once they exit, I'm kind of done unless there's some SEC teams I really want to watch, and I'm not sure this is that kind of year. All right, that's the opening drive. It's brought to you by Farm Credit. When the workday is done, that's when the good stuff begins. Whether it's fishing, off-roading, or just enjoying the great outdoors, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can help make it happen. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any one of Farm Credit of Western Arkansas's 25 locations today and start making the most of your time off.
All right, when we come back here in the Morning Rush Hog Update, Dave Van Horn had plenty to say following yesterday's 13-10 loss. Going to hear from him coming up in just a bit. He's out, sounds like, recruiting when it comes to the transfer portal. There's going to be other things he touched on as well. We'll get into all that. We're still live in Lawrence, Kansas this morning following Arkansas's exit of the Lawrence Regional. Stay with us on the Morning Rush.
It's tournament time in Arkansas, and the Razorbacks are on the road to Kansas for the 2026 Lawrence Regional. Our exclusive coverage of the regional round is brought to you by Foster Roofing or Auto Parts once a year friends and family sale going on now through May 31st. Our regional coverage is also brought to you by the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Attention skilled craftsmen, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is hiring only the best that the natural state has to offer. If you're ready for your next big opportunity to have steady work and better pay, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is ready to talk to you. Bath Makeover is looking for plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers to help us keep up with high demand. Bath Makeover is growing our commercial division as well, with the ability to now install over 100 bathrooms a month. Bath Makeover can knock out multi-unit projects quickly, easily 10 bathrooms at a time in a single week at hotels, apartments, and government housing all across Arkansas. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is looking for only experienced and qualified skilled craftsmen to join our talented team. To learn more about the job opportunities at Bath Makeover of Arkansas, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com. Plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com.
Well, that sucked.
This is the Morning Rush.
Graduate to a road-ready certified pre-owned ride and get more for your trade at Rath Auto Resources. Just bring in your old car, even if you still owe money on it. Make the switch to a road-ready certified pre-owned and get up to $2,000 over appraised value for your trade. With our non-commissioned sales team, painless pricing, and some of the best lenders around, Rath is here to make finding your next car, truck, or SUV easy. Don't settle for the same old car buying experience. Get up to $2,000 extra for your old ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the River Valley's largest RV dealerships, proudly serving Northwest Arkansas, specializing in sales, parts, and service. We're truly your one-stop shop for all your RV needs. Conveniently located with easy access to I-40 and I-49, we're 40 minutes from Northwest Arkansas and just as close to our friends in Oklahoma, carrying top brands like Grand Design, Coachman, East to West, and Forest River. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Pete's back on the links with all new golf clubs and hopefully less swearing.
Dang, why's that?
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so he can be a little bad. Oof. Talent sold separately.
I said these were slice proof.
At least he has money for lessons. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
See
Gage Wood, no hits him. Allen has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs, please.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Go Hog!
Yeah, we'll be in the portal pretty good. And, it's not what I love doing. That's not the way I like developing kids. I like to get freshmen and keep them coming along. But if you want to compete in the Southeastern Conference full-grown man league, and it's hard to win with three freshmen in the lineup and a couple of freshman pitchers that you depend on every weekend. It's just not going to happen. You got to get guys that have some experience, and so we'll be in the middle of it. It starts tomorrow.
DVH after the game talking about their intention and what they plan on doing in the transfer portal. Didn't get enough out of the guys that you got out of the portal. Some guys that were expected to take bigger jumps in their later in their careers here didn't necessarily happen. And guys, unfortunately, that's why you're back in Fayetteville, Arkansas today.
What happened in 2016? They didn't make the tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
And things changed, let's just say, in the offseason. Staff changes, roster construction changes. And I know the sport as a whole has changed with NIL and portal and all this stuff since then. But beginning in 2017, we saw a run that had everything you wanted except a national championship come from this program. And I think out of this, and we act like it's the abyss here. We are so spoiled as fans. But I think out of this season that disappoints everyone around it, there will be changes in the process and changes about how he goes about the portal, changes about NIL. I don't know why he would make staff changes, but he may make some. Who knows what he's thinking? But I can tell you this. I still think there's fire in that belly of his, and I still think they'll come out the other side of this as one hell of a baseball team next year.
Well, okay, and that was a common theme that Big C could share the same as I did last night. It's like we would get these texts from people, oh, he doesn't have the fire anymore in the belly. The guy's arguing. They're down 5 running, and he's arguing with the ump for 10 minutes in the 8th inning. Like, I think people associate age. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, Tommy, or remember when Tommy Tice got hired at Farmington, Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you, I was like, isn't he like 70-something? Like, and you told me it's like he's still got fire. Well, we saw how that turned out for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're old doesn't mean you don't have piss and vinegar. Like, you don't. And I realize as you age, some things start to break down. You don't have as much energy as maybe you did when you were in your 30s and 40s. I get all that. But that doesn't always correlate person to person. And I don't. If you want to point to other things that maybe he should fix, maybe I'll give you that. But this idea that this guy is he's just worn out. He don't want to. I can't get on board with that.
Well, you know who knows more about what needs to be fixed and already knows the answers? That's Dave. He's seen what's going on this year. He's not just now pondering on what the next move is now. He's been running these scenarios in his head as he runs laps around that outfield, the warning track, that ballpark. And, this guy's constantly living it and breathing it. I promise you're going to notice some structural changes for next year.
And to kind of go off that note, he pointed to like, hey, we didn't have a shortstop. No one wanted to come in behind Vihivo Loy because he wasn't going to play. We saw the Golden Spites Award winner, what he was for this team last year. And you started a freshman there in Brumbaugh. It didn't work. He wasn't hitting. He wasn't fielding. And then Kojal's there just out of necessity. He did it because he's a team guy. He's going to play second base in the next level, as Dave was talking about. That's a position needs starting pitching. You need some of that. And I know those guys are hard to come by, kind of like postmen in the transfer portal in basketball. So there's a lot of need for this group, and hopefully they're able to get it done. And I don't know what the money situation is. I know it's good. I don't know where it is in the SEC, which is always what matters when it comes to transfer portal, especially who you're competing against week in, week out. But hopefully the evaluation goes a little better than maybe it did this past year.
Never getting Wiggins was such a big deal for this team this year. And him never being able to pitch for them was a huge deal. Clay Henry just texted in to the program. He says, "Don't forget they lost Brent and Clark in the fall, and then Aloy during the season, as you mentioned a minute ago. Big pieces of the puzzle that would have been the heart of the lineup." That's exactly right. And one thing, because this is where he played, and one thing he coaches, one thing he prides himself on is what? Middle infield. And they were good. You know, Souza and Coach, they were good, but were they the elite of what we've been? I think that's exactly what you were just saying. They haven't been elite like they've been in those spots in seasons that have turned in to trips to Omaha.
I think it was Matt Jones. It's like the worst fielding percentage since 2019. Yeah. I mean, you think about the 2 errors that they got given yesterday. There could have been 3 or 4 that they didn't give it. I mean, Pompey had to play yesterday, and TJ had just an incredible catch in the infield on Friday, or 2 of them, I should say. Well, he bobbled it, and then he threw it away. So he basically had 2 errors in one. It was just it's a culmination of a bunch of things that happened. You had New and Ruiz colliding, and center or left field. I mean, it's just. I
don't want to make an excuse for these guys, but some of that, I thought there were some hops that came off that turf that left them frozen at a time in the outfield and on the infield. So, I don't want to blame it on the turf. I mean, those guys got to make the plays, but I thought when you get used to playing on a natural surface and then you go to play on that stuff, it does change the way the ball reacts. All right, I don't know. Spring is here, but I thought it felt like summer this weekend. But that means the grass is about to get out of control. That's why right now at WT Equipment, they're doing a little spring cleaning on their Hustler zero-turn inventory. That means big savings for you. Talking 0% for 42 months on new Hustler zero-turn mowers. If your yard is growing fast, it might be time to upgrade and get something that can keep up. They've got it with speed, precision, and durability with the Hustlers. Stop by WT Equipment, Berryville, Springdale, Searcy, and find them online at WTEquip.com. Hustler, cut better, cut faster.
Morning Rush Daily Question when we return.
Tune into June with Lewis Automotive for your next ride, where you'll get top trade values and massive savings. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for 80 years strong.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Attention skilled craftsmen, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is hiring only the best that the natural state has to offer. If you're ready for your next big opportunity to have steady work and better pay, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is ready to talk to you. Bath Makeover is looking for plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers to help us keep up with high demand. Bath Makeover is growing our commercial division as well, with the ability to now install over 100 bathrooms a month. Bath Makeover can knock out multi-unit projects quickly, easily 10 bathrooms at a time in a single week at hotels, apartments, and government housing all across Arkansas. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is looking for only experienced and qualified skilled craftsmen to join our talented team. To learn more about the job opportunities at Bath Makeover of Arkansas, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com. Plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com.
The message this morning was we got to score, we got to hit, and if you'd have told me we're going to score 10 in each game, I'd have told you we're probably going to win both of them.
This is the Morning Rush.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric, and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Here's NASCAR Hall of Famer Mark Martin.
As a race car driver for 40 years, I survived a lot of crashes. Not everyone can run into a wall at 200 miles an hour and walk away. Without a seatbelt, I wouldn't be alive today. Now I'm retired, back home in Arkansas driving my pickup. I'm shocked how many people aren't wearing seatbelts. Why risk your life when it only takes 2 seconds to buckle up? Take it from number 6. Buckle up, Arkansas.
A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
Memorial Day deals are at the Home Depot, which means one thing. It's go time. So kick off your planting projects and fill your space with colorful blooms that will thrive in your area. Then protect your flower beds with savings on mulch. On special buy, 4 bags for $10. This Memorial Day, get your backyard ready for summer with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Pricing valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Big color, bigger savings. Sherwin-Williams Super Sale is here. Get 40% off paints and stains June 5th through the 11th with prices starting at $30.89. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with extra rebates for a limited time. Kofer's features low pontoons and fishing boats, Malibu and Axis wake surf boats, Caymas bass boats, and Kofer's has recently added the luxury line of Harris pontoons. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all of your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service is second to none. Plus, they have the best boat storage option in town. Find them online at Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
What's job number one for Dave Van Horn? As the postseason begins, he's in the portal, NIL. You got to clean up your roster. You got to figure out the holes in it. Ty, you saw it firsthand the last few weeks. What's job one right now that Dave Van Horn's already waist deep in at this point?
I think it's starting pitching.
That was a little bit of the issue with this year's team. We didn't have enough starting pitching. We had some guys that were pretty good in the bullpen, but they didn't have enough of a mix to get you out more than a few innings, is what I saw. So we're working on that for the future.
You love what you got from Hunter Dietz, but and I know Gackle gave you 4 innings the other day, but he really is more of a bullpen guy, I think. So that's where one of the things he pointed to. So I'm going to rely on the head baseball coach, and that's where my mind goes.
I agree. I think pitching's one, but if I just to give a different answer, it's somewhat depth. And how do you go about building depth in a transfer portal world where if someone's coming here but they know they're not going to get to be an everyday starter? You're going to get them paid a little bit of money, but maybe not as much as someone else could get them paid even at a different level. I think building depth and having a roster in today's world and how you construct it's hard because somebody's out there with a checkbook ready to offer your number 2 at shortstop, your number 2 at center field, your number 2 at first base. A lot of money, and people don't just wait in line anymore for an opportunity in an elite program like Arkansas.
Yeah, and so last year, you think about where you were this time last year, you just won. Go ahead.
And then you get someone injured, someone gets hurt, or someone doesn't come through, and then you don't have the depth, and then it shows up. And Arkansas went through, 3 different guys at first base because of injury and other issues.
Mm-hmm. And then one of the other things DVH touched on last year is was some guys, particularly at shortstop, that they thought they were going to get on campus, and they were like, okay, this is the money that if the MLB team pays me, then I'll leave. Well, he said one of the guys got like a third of that and still left. So you're also, again, and this is something, it's not just Dave, but everyone else, other coach has to balance as well, of guys not only from high school ranks, Tommy, that are balancing the portal or not, but those draft eligible either sophomores or juniors, and they're debating, they're in the portal, kind of like we've seen with Arkansas basketball players. It's like I'm entering the portal, I may come back to college, or I'm going to the NBA, and so that's also similar to what Dave has to deal with. But there's plenty. They're losing a lot of guys, and hopefully again they can hit on some moving forward. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Number 1 place for indoor golf in all of Arkansas is at Cart Pass Social. I know Christian and Nate are really excited about their membership package, which is starting at just $200 a month that you can play unlimited golf at Cart Pass Social. Check it out. Go to cartpasssocial.com. It's an incredible place, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. And again, June through September. Yes, June through September, they are doing this at Cart Pass Social. Unlimited. Do a member guests, and family from $200, $250, or $350 a month. Go to cartpasssocial.com for more information. Call 479-487-3622 or go to cartpasssocial.com. Let's talk to Robert. He's in Fort Smith this morning here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Robert, fire away.
Hey, guys. Real quick, the softball team, I just hope they stay hungry and get that taste out of their mouth. After getting beat, they're going to be like, we're not going to do that again. We want to go and win more than one, at least with one. And then the baseball team, y'all saw what the JUCO route's doing for Kansas. I mean, like you guys been talking about, we get some JUCO players playing some of these small mid-majors, get them to get up here and let them get a taste of big-time baseball where they're seen more by the scouts. I'm hoping that'll work for us a little bit, but, see what happens.
Yeah, anytime you can go into a smaller school, whether it's JUCO route, a mid-major, and get some guys, some diamonds in the rough wherever you try and do that. But then there's the higher heralded kids, the kids that are going to command a lot of money out of the transfer portal that I know Dave would like to get as well. And you need a combination of both, and we'll see what that looks like in the coming weeks of the portal. Brian's in Ozark this morning. Brian, good morning.
What's going on?
Hey, Brian.
I got a question for you. I just wanted to ask. So there's a lot of people that were upset by the way that the Kansas, students and everybody reacted to Arkansas. And, yeah, they probably did something and said some things to the players' parents that they shouldn't have. But here's the deal, for 2-3 days up to that, man, people chastised Kansas in their stadium, and it was a piece of crap, and they shouldn't do this and this and that. Sorry, I think they kind of got what they deserved. The players left with their heads tucked, and they just got beaten all phases of that game.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if a beer can to the face is necessarily getting what you deserve, especially if you're a parent that didn't say anything on social media or a kid or whoever. But
a lot of them did. A lot of them did. They were.
You think a lot of the parents did?
There.
You think a lot of the parents were talking trash about that?
Brian, how many of those people
were
talking
upset
noise?
about going to Kansas. They felt that
Brian,
Arkansas deserved the regional.
How many of those people talking noise weren't even in Lawrence, Kansas this weekend? All those
Well, I don't
people
know,
online.
but
Well,
I mean-
exactly. So to say that like Ty saying that some mom that came in to watch her kid got what she deserved by having a beer dumped on her is nonsense.
Okay, well maybe you're right on that aspect, but another part of that was I get Hunter Geets threw 14 strikeouts and they celebrated that, but you still lost.
Yeah.
So I mean still lost.
They were
the strikeouts meant
Arkansas
nothing.
wasn't good enough. They weren't. Kansas was better this weekend, and when you look back at it, we were better all year. I mean, there's no argument there. I mean, Kansas earned the regional. I don't want to hear from anybody.
Point, yeah.
I don't want to hear from anybody about the regional site. It shouldn't matter if you can't. Maybe there's some minimum standards, but that ballpark, you were there. Was it just fine? I mean, I know that Baum Walker's better. That's not the discussion. Was it sufficient to host that regional this weekend?
Yes.
I mean, why should they be excluded from something they earned as a Big 12 champion to host that as the 15th seed? They shouldn't be excluded from that because they don't have 12,000 seats. If we're going to do it where, you got to have 8 or 9 or 10,000 seats, well, you're going to exclude about 90% of the baseball world.
Yeah.
So, you can't do that.
We've got to remember, we're lucky and fortunate that Baum Walker seats 11,000 plus.
Right.
But that is
we're
not
in the minority.
Minority. It's like us, Duty Noble. I mean, I think Box has 9 or 10. But there's just not that many college baseball ballparks that
Not
that
even
get
the
to
SEC
that.
has
Yeah,
it across the board.
Great point. Yeah, and this is the
So,
creme de la creme, the premier.
right.
I think what happened this week.
They deserved
Tommy,
to host, and they hosted, and they
Yeah.
took advantage of it.
So your fans wrote a check that the team couldn't cash. That's
a good way to put it.
That's what happened. I mean, Brian, to a certain extent, is right. There was an abnormal amount of trash talking this week, and I didn't understand it. I was like, okay, they deserved it over Arkansas. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to host, obviously, for our fans and for our partners, but it didn't happen. And we saw this weekend, as you just kind of said, it made sense. The NCAA was solidified, and they're choosing to send us to Lawrence.
I've got some buddies and different listeners and people that have texted me and sent me all these obscure stats and how Arkansas got hosed by the committee by not getting a host. You know how many of those people I've heard from since Friday? Since Saturday? Zero.
If you would have won this weekend, the argument could have been made. But since you didn't just lose once, you lost twice,
right?
And you lost in a couple different ways. And Brian had a comment about Hunter, which I think was stupid. Hunter, he's coming back after pitching like 2/3 of an inning after getting drilled,
got hit in the foot,
a third of an inning, and he gives you a career high in strikeouts. And for the first time in a while, the bats didn't help you.
Yeah.
Like how many Hunter, I think, had won is either 5 the last. If you don't count last week in Hoover, he had won 5 of his last 6 starts. And you'd won those opening starts because of him. Because he would give you 6 or 7, only allow a couple runs, if at all, and the team's bats would carry him through. The one time in however many outings that, for whatever reason, you just couldn't hit. I think it was Keene. That was their pitcher the other night. And that was just that was very disappointing. Ryan's got a rebuttal for Brian. Ryan, go ahead.
Now, I will say he's right that we didn't back it up, but Kansas 1,000% started that online with their Barstool accounts. As soon as we got announced to their regional, that they started talking about how we're not going to be able to handle their atmosphere, this, that, and the other, and how we weren't going to be ready for it. That's where all that started. They 1,000% started, but they did back it up. So I'll give them the credit on that. But, man, Brian, you can't make that comment talking about some parents deserve. Man, that ain't right. And I think that tells you more about Brian than it does anything else. But and I wanted to say something y'all said. Y'all were talking about how if we losing this weekend doesn't or disproves whatever that we deserve it. That's not true either. Because if we play them on a neutral field, you're probably talking about a little different game. I mean, it's not Arkansas's fault that you had a Mississippi State alum put them in over us. That's not Kansas' fault either.
Ryan, that's come on, that's crybaby stuff, man.
Well, and if we would have played them on a neutral side, we would have played them at ball. We lost.
Ryan, you have a lot of good takes. That don't hold water, man. They beat us. They had a better season.
And I'm giving them credit. Y'all aren't listening.
No, I'm listening loud and clear.
But to also say that we didn't deserve it is also not true either. Now, they absolutely deserved that win, 1,000%. They were the better team. But to also act like that we weren't deserving of a regional, too, is not right either. Because we 1,000% should have, over Mississippi State, 100%.
No. Nope. I disagree with you on that. You didn't have the kind of year. Ryan, appreciate the call. You didn't finish strong. But that's not the reason the season's over. Season's over because of all the deficiencies we've known for weeks that we band-aided with big hitting for about 3 weeks. And then the big hitting didn't show up this weekend, or enough of it. You had 10 runs in 2 games, and it still wasn't enough. I mean, pitching's been the problem. I mean, this team is so inconsistent. I cannot see where you absolutely, as Ryan said, 1,000% deserved a regional. That's a fan take, and I'm fine with that. But that's just not fair and objective.
If you had won this weekend, you would have had a lot more ammo to that argument. But you lost twice to Kansas.
And you'd still be going on the road somewhere because you couldn't even sniff a top 8 national seed. Hey, wherever you're going this summer, take along the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. It's the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell.
Hour 2 coming up. We're talking with Matt Grissom on the other side, talking more baseball. Stay with us here on a Hot Take Monday.
Take it from Arkansas greats, Joe Klein and Pat Bradley.
The big national sports apps are now in Arkansas, taking over Oaklawn and Bentley, which are no longer local.
Making Bet Saracen the only real local app.
And still Arkansans fan fave.
Plus, Bet Saracen is still the official sports betting app of many of the state's colleges and universities.
Bet Saracen, built by Arkansans for Arkansans.
Bet with Arkansans. Bet with Bet Saracen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Attention skilled craftsmen, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is hiring only the best that the natural state has to offer. If you're ready for your next big opportunity to have steady work and better pay, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is ready to talk to you. Bath Makeover is looking for plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers to help us keep up with high demand. Bath Makeover is growing our commercial division as well, with the ability to now install over 100 bathrooms a month. Bath Makeover can knock out multi-unit projects quickly, easily 10 bathrooms at a time in a single week at hotels, apartments, and government housing all across Arkansas. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is looking for only experienced and qualified skilled craftsmen to join our talented team. To learn more about the job opportunities at Bath Makeover of Arkansas, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com. Plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com.
This is the Morning Rush.
Graduate to a road-ready certified pre-owned ride and get more for your trade at Rath Auto Resources. Just bring in your old car, even if you still owe money on it. Make the switch to a road-ready certified pre-owned and get up to $2,000 over appraised value for your trade. With our non-commissioned sales team, painless pricing, and some of the best lenders around, Rath is here to make finding your next car, truck, or SUV easy. Don't settle for the same old car buying experience. Get up to $2,000 extra for your old ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
Imagine a summer of backyard fun and relaxation for the whole family. Burton Pools and Spas can make it happen now during the Doughboy Super Sale. Save up to $1,250 on Doughboy above ground pools, or get an 18-foot coastal pool for just $85 a month. Installation included. Select semi-in-ground pool packages are $2,000 off. The Doughboy Super Sale won't last long. Visit Burton today. Burton Pools and Spas. Water for a better life.
Introducing Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa with bright citrus, real red jalapenos, guajillo chiles. Usually, you add sauce to the food, but when the sauce is this good, the food is just there to get the sauce to your mouth. That rolled quesadilla, not a rolled quesadilla anymore. Now it's a sauce shovel. Taco Bell's jalapeno citrus salsa. Get it with any item on the Cantina chicken menu while it's here. The Participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This spring, you're organizing closets, decluttering drawers, and maybe even scrubbing places no one will ever look. But here's a thought. Why not declutter your internet, too? If your shows keep buffering, your games lag, or your video calls freeze, that's digital clutter, and you don't have to live with it. Switch to Wave Rural Connect Fiber for fast, reliable internet that keeps your home running clean and clear all season long. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a Hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Lots of sunshine today, but we can't rule out an isolated storm across the north. Highs around 90 with southwest winds becoming northwest at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly clear to partly cloudy tonight. Can't rule out an isolated storm with lows around 70. Mostly sunny on Tuesday with highs in the 80s. I'm Matthew Harding with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather information is brought to you by The Solid Rock, your source for inspirational gifts, home decor, women's boutique items, personalized Bibles, and more.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, you're listening to ESPN 95.3.
RX Paris Fort Smith.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
You could drink beer.
The superior light beer for the social athlete.
And the next pitch coming. That's it. Swung on and missed, strike three, and Kansas wins the Lawrence Regional. Final score is 13-10. Hogs go 2-2 in the regional, losing to Kansas twice.
Took advantage of 3 or 4 mistakes we made today. Didn't turn double play ball and got a couple outfielders run into each other, and I could go on and on. That was a little bit of the issue with this year's team. We didn't have enough starting pitching. We had some guys that were pretty good in the bullpen, but they didn't have enough of a mix to get you out more than a few innings is what I saw. So we're working on that for the future. Yeah, we're losing 2 big time leaders that have made their mark with Arkansas Razorback baseball and me personally. We'll be in the portal pretty good.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, produced by Colton Little.
With Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft, this is the Morning Rush.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Hot Take Monday. Still live in Lawrence, Kansas this morning, reacting to Arkansas's exit from the Lawrence Regional yesterday, 13-10 to the Kansas Jayhawks. Guys, a lot different than how last year felt, just the way the season concluded against LSU and Omaha versus this year. It doesn't feel great regardless, but I didn't have the same feeling about this team as I did last year's team. I think we all see with our own 2 eyes last year's team was clearly better from top to bottom, and this year's team, unfortunately, just didn't have the horses to get further into postseason.
Yeah, Lewis Automotive Group Hotline Open had several texts. When you score 10 runs, you're supposed to win. Hitting wasn't the issue. you weren't consistent enough always, and that off-speed pitching from Kansas in the first game really held Arkansas at bay. But, in the end, when you score 10 runs, you're supposed to win the baseball game. And you didn't. And I think B.E. and Clarksville said it best. You were consistently inconsistent. That sums this team and this season up and exactly kind of where you're at. And, back to the point you're making here, we all knew deep down. We hoped that Dave could sprinkle some fairy dust on this team and pull some of that Dave Van Horn stuff and get this team into a super. And then, hey, best of 3, we'll see what happens. But the reality was, and I've been saying it for a month, I worried more about the regional format than the super regional format because of the lack of depth of pitching. And the format caught up with you. And if you ended up winning last night somehow and getting to a final Game 7, who the heck was going to pitch that game?
Yeah, they were running dry.
Oh.
You mentioned the 10-plus runs in back-to-back games. Here's Dave yesterday.
The message this morning was we got to score, we got to hit. And if you'd have told me we're going to score 10 in each game, I'd have told you we're probably going to win both of them.
I mean, is anyone not taking 20 runs over the course of 2 games?
I thought it'd take 40 over 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I don't know if I was right, but 20 wasn't enough. I mean, 10 was enough in the first game with Northeastern, but 10 wasn't enough in Game 2. You needed 15.
Yeah.
You may have needed 15 in a game today if you'd have gotten there. We'll never find out.
Well,
but the reality is we've just seen Dave make it work with really better baseball teams over the last 7 or 8 years since 2017, and we thought somehow it was all going to come together at the right moment, and we were going to find a way to make it work. And it just didn't.
Robert also blames me for going behind enemy lines.
Well,
that I'm also the reason. Robert, I would like to point out last time I traveled for baseball on the road, regional-wise, Oklahoma State and Chapel Hill, all 17 hours. We won both those, so just didn't have the team, unfortunately, this year.
You were there this year. Did they win?
They did not.
Okay,
No,
you.
they lost.
The defense
lost
rest, Your
13-10.
Honor.
By the way, guys, we hadn't really spent much time in the first hour and 4 minutes on the initial game. We talked with Matt Grissom about this coming up. Guys, they almost lost the game against Northeastern yesterday.
They tried to give it away.
Northeastern had their best, 10-6 in the ninth? They had their best batter up, who hit a pop fly to, I guess, Ruiz and left. That game was, I'm sitting here thinking, like, are we going to lose this game being up 4 runs in the ninth inning? Luckily, they closed it out and they moved on, but geez Louise, that was close to being, you talk about an angry fan base, like they're not happy. No, I'm not happy right now as you all are, but can you imagine if they had let that one slip away? Holy cow, that would have been a rough 2 hours of sports radio today.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to get to Matt here in just a minute on the Lewis Automotive Group at Hotline. We did our Fence Man Friday picks with Brandon on Friday. We'll reveal the results coming up this Friday. If you need anything involving a fence, powered automatic gates, walk-through gates with controlled access with, like card readers or punch in a code to get into through a gate or a door, they do all those kind of things for you. Call Brandon. He'll come out and give you a free, no obligations quote. And if you ask for Brandon when you call, you get $500 off, or up 10% up to $500 off by asking for Brandon. All right, so that's kind of your bonus, is a special discount when you call and say you heard it on the Morning Rush and you talk to Brandon. He said he's been busy. Had 4 or 5 of those calls last week alone. So let's keep Brandon busy this week. 782-3936. 782-3936. Claim your discount with the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, so Matt Grissom joins us, College Baseball Insiders and College Baseball Central. He was here on Saturday, and I went over and talked to Matt a little bit. Matt, help our audience understand what your kid was here at the game. Didn't like a Kansas fan just hurl an expletive at him early on in Saturday's outing? I mean, there was not words held back even from the youngsters that were in attendance in Razorback garb this weekend, was there?
Yeah, let me kind of give some context here. So my family had already planned this trip to be in Kansas City for the Savannah Bananas game on Saturday. So my oldest, 14-year-old, and my stepdad, who's a retired fireman, 70 years old, they decided they wanted to go see real baseball. So after paying a small fortune for 2 stand seats in the beautiful Hoagland ballpark, we're there. My son's wearing a Razorback hat that he just so happened to have. Neither of them packed Arkansas stuff because, again, the intention was never to end up in Lawrence. And as they were waiting on me to finish up with the interview over in the Allen Fieldhouse, my 14-year-old had some, intoxicated Kansas fan get in his face and yell F Arkansas. So I got called a liar several times. The $100, that never happened. I have no idea why he would want to lie to me about that. But overall, though, Kansas was fine. I have really no intentions of ever going back. But, it is what it is. Hats off to Fitz and a great season. Now let's put a bow on that.
Matt, it sounds like from all accounts I've heard, yours included, Ty's and everything else I've read online, we're trying to define the Kansas fan base on about 3% of their fans, which, boy, I certainly don't want Arkansas to find on our worst 3%, but it sounds like 100% of their worst 3% all showed up for this weekend.
Yeah, and we'll call a spade a spade. Arkansas fans have their moments as well. I'm sure they've had some pretty hostile environments, but as far as different places I've traveled to, I was there for the Kentucky series to close out the regular season, and a lot of people there knew I was a Razorback at heart, and they were still super friendly. No explicitives thrown at my face or anything, but this winning is new to them. That's what I tried to explain to them. They're excited. Devin Beal, I think their former running back that broke all those records, he was there waving bye, said bye Arkansas to us. He was unaware of the regional format that we would likely see him again after that game won. So, they've just got to get used to winning. But with Fitz at the helm, they've got a good team. It's back-to-back years, I think, with 40 wins. So
yeah,
they've got a good team. The fan base just needs to get used to winning.
Yeah. Matt, is it as simple as you just don't have enough pitching? I mean, we've broke it down a lot of ways, but at the end, I think it just comes down to you don't have enough starting pitching to be a super regional team.
Yeah, and we saw the writing on the wall, I feel like, all season. I felt like we may have had a turn the last time I was on with you guys. I kind of told you about Dietz, and he was a true Friday night arm, and then I looked like a genius because we started winning games. It looked like we may have figured it out. And then you kind of knew in the back of your mind, like, all right, who do we actually trust when the game turns into a high leverage situation? Who are we turning to get an out? And unfortunately for Arkansas, we played in 4 very high leverage situation games. Even Northeastern, where a lead was never safe, you kind of knew, okay, we know we have fielding error issues. We have a short bullpen, and now we're going to try to space out 2 other games if we get through this one. And then before you knew it, you looked up and thought, wait a second, can we even just get through this one? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was watching it saying, oh, wow, so this is how it's going to end. It was very Southeast Missouri State-esque, when we lost that and got eliminated by them of all people. But yeah, it just a lack of pitching. I mean, I think Dave said it best. We had errors in the field, which kind of reared their ugly head again. We had guys kind of go in a slump and have some really bad at-bats who had really looked like they had turned a corner and started playing a lot better. But, it's like Jay Johnson said, we took a gamble on this year's roster and we lost. And that's kind of where we ended up. I think we were trying to get through the season and have some positives because that's what Razorback fans are. We're spoiled. We've grown to assume that every year with Hobbs and Van Horn that we're going to have a really good pitching staff. We're going to have guys that can hit, and unfortunately, they just ran out of gas.
When you look at like a comparison, for example, UCLA, number 1 overall seed, loses in their own regional, almost went 0-2. And if not for that comeback against Virginia Tech. You mentioned the 40-plus wins, I think, for a 9th consecutive year. Matt, can you justify this season, and then expect more next year? How do you compartmentalize this as a fan, kind of taking it all in the last 24 hours or so?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go back to the basics. You've got to get a 3-man rotation that can make it through the SEC season. The teams that have made it, they have a solid workhorse of arms. I mean, look at Auburn. Yes, they lost a game to Milwaukee, but I'll be shocked if they lose a third game to Milwaukee today. But they've had a solid rotation. It's not one of the best rotations in the country. You look at Georgia between Volchko and Big U, and then Caden Aoki, who we saw in Fayetteville. I mean, the teams that are making it have at least 3 starters that they can turn to. And we've seen in years past Van Horn teams that have had the most success. They've had 2 or 3 guys that step up and kind of overperform their season-long averages in the postseason. A clutch factor, if you will. And unfortunately this year, outside of Deep and Gackle, kind of here lately, they didn't really have it.
Guys coming back, you mentioned additions that they need in the portal. Who are you expecting to come back and have a significant impact for this squad next year?
I have no idea. You would assume that the guys that are eligible, that aren't going to be a top draft pick, are going to come back. I think it would do them a lot of good. But Dave said that he's planning on hitting the portal hard, so I don't know if that steers some people off, maybe that didn't have the greatest experience. I think when you look around the country, though, the transfer portal teams are starting to figure it out, and they're winning. You know, in the beginning, it kind of looked like maybe you're better off with just some homegrown guys that you can train up and get them right. But I think it's becoming more and more clear that, especially with the starting pitchers, you want to hit the portal hard and get some guys that can make an immediate impact.
Tommy, you got anything else?
Yeah, I was just say, so how much of this came down in the end, I mean, the final equation of Wiggins not being healthy, not being able to give you anything this year? If he'd have been able to come back for the last month of the season, do you think there would have been enough pitching at that point? Because I think that injury right there, and you can point to injuries and depth, and how do you know, we could talk for an hour on how you create depth in a transfer portal world with limited NIL. I mean, you just are. But to me, I look at that, and that was probably the one key thing. If you could have plugged him in somehow, we might still be talking about baseball and maybe baseball in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I mean, if Wiggins is healthy, if you get one of the 2 get on campus, I know they had Joey Volchko get on campus. They had Jackson Wells from Little Rock, which I want to talk about the Little Rock Trojans too, but just one of those guys that had eaten up some innings in college and then get that freshman arm that has so much talent. Like 1 or 2 guys would have made all the difference in the world for this team.
Matt, I think we'll leave it there, man. I know you got some travel here these next few weeks, covering all things baseball in Omaha for College Baseball Insiders and College Baseball Central. Hopefully, the DVH reinforces some guys in the portal, and we're not talking about a regional exit this time next season.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
Yeah. Matt, thanks for your time this morning. Matt and all of our guests, Matt Grissom and all of our guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Mock Legal Solutions, they've been around for over 4 years in Fort Smith with a hometown office. They're also in Sallisaw as well, offering real advice at a reasonable price. They've expanded their practice and are ready to help in 3 primary areas: custody, criminal work, and car wrecks. Attorney Jackie Mock can help you navigate a high-conflict divorce and custody case. Don't walk alone. Walk with Jackie on this, what could be a very difficult point in your life. If you find yourself on the wrong side of the law, Jackie's going to hold the prosecutor's feet to the fire and make sure your rights are protected. And if you find yourself in a car wreck, make sure that you get Jackie to help you, because she used to work for the big insurance companies, so she knows how to get them to pay a fair settlement for your vehicle and your injuries. Don't negotiate alone. Let Jackie be at your side. Call Jackie today, 479-769-1505. That's 769-1505, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com.
So you kind of mentioned earlier, kind of a crummy weekend for Razorback fans. Lost to Kansas, softball team lost to UCLA, and the Thunder lost.
It's a Vassell who's going for the dunk, and the San Antonio Spurs have done it. There will be a new champion in the NBA. A new era has dawned. It's Wendy's West. The Spurs are going to the NBA Final. Look at the emotion from Wemby. Unbelievable.
You know what, Tommy? I obviously disappointed with Game 7 results, but on the flip side, you know, like there's this new thing in life that people are taught not to care. Like you're uncool for caring about something or showing emotion about something. You heard Reggie Miller and Mike Tirico there. I will say this, even in the midst of watching my team lose, I did appreciate how much Wembanyama wanted that. I mean, he lost Team USA back in the day. He's lost to Chet, like on that team. He's lost different things before. Lost the MVP to Shea. You saw how much that inspired and fired him up. And again, my team was on the losing end, but I can also appreciate that other facet of what we watched in Game 7.
I'll be interested to see how Oklahoma City and other teams in the West respond. I think a new era has dawned, and barring injury, I mean, Wembanyama's going to be the next superstar in this league. I mean, you can already say he is one, but I think the Spurs, as young as they are, man, they're poised to go on a Golden Suns type run here, 4 or 5 years, maybe win 3 titles, 4 titles in a 4, 5, 6 year window. I think that's what we're seeing, because how do you defend him? I mean, and then everything else they've got as well. So we may be seeing the start of a mini dynasty here with the Spurs.
When you think about Harper's kid and Castle and him,
Castle's a stud now.
Yeah, Colton, I know that your New York Knicks have a tough challenge ahead Wednesday night.
The Spurs
all those guys
have just as tough of a challenge.
I agree.
I
think that,
I don't write these Knicks off yet.
No, I'm going to be pulling for the Knicks, but I do think. I mean, do you disagree that we might be seeing the dawn of an era here? That's
think about
4, 5, 6 year window here. I mean, nothing lasts forever. But if you told me the Spurs were going to win 3 titles or 4 in the next 5 to 6 years, I wouldn't call you crazy.
Think about, so in '99, Jordan had just exited the league, and funny enough, you have a rematch of that finals, which was Patrick Ewing and the Knicks versus the Spurs, and that was early Tim Duncan days. The Spurs have managed over the years to get like these quiet superstars, and Wemby is in their minds on the next level or on that next thought. So he's going to be, unfortunately, as a Thunder fan, going to have to deal with him for, as you said, several years to come. This is not just a one-off year ball injury. This is something that not just the Thunder, but everyone in the Western Conference is going to have to, unfortunately, go up against.
Speaking of superstars, you mentioned Michael Jordan there. A little breaking news this morning here on the Morning Rush. Serena is back. Serena Williams, after 3 years of not competing professionally, the tennis legend will make her return in the doubles event at the HSBC Championship at the Queen's Club in London. This has been confirmed that she will return to the tournament runs June 8th through the 14th. 23-time major title winner, the most in recent history, back in the game. There's already comparing what she's doing here to Michael Jordan and Mario Lemieux and Simone Biles and Michael Phelps and a few others. But, when you're one of those one-name athletes, one of them one-name stars, and
point.
Serena is, just like you could say Michael or you could say Jordan, but you didn't have to say them together and you know who you're talking about, it's kind of a big deal that she's coming back on the sports scene.
Yeah, that is something I always joke with Clay about. It's like I just say your name and everyone knows who we're talking about. That is kind of cool. Do you think you're in that
44 years
echelon?
old? No, I'm not.
You can't.
She's
People
40
just can't say Tommy and they don't know who that is.
Well, probably not. There probably needs to be an explicative or two that goes with it. But at 44 years old, this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. Now, it did say, as I was reading through this report, it's in a doubles event, but still, she's back in the game after a 3-year.
Have you ever seen her live? I can't pretend that I'm.
No. In person? No. I mean, I've watched her, many times at Wimbledon. It used to always kind of the finals would occur around July 4th weekend, and then they've moved the schedule. But that was kind of part of my July 4th Saturday, Sunday morning. You'd have the ladies' finals, and then she was in those a lot, and then you'd have the gentlemen's finals on Sunday, and I, this kind of watching the British Open or the Open Championship. It was early morning TV before you got busy doing everything else, and so yeah, I've watched her. That'd be like the only time of the year I'd ever watch tennis.
Significant news in the sporting world.
Yeah.
No question about that. All right, we still got our SEC update to get into as well. I do want to, before we close out the show today, reflect on what DVH had to say about Ryder Helfrich and Cam Kojiel, because I think it's worth your time. Little Rock heading to the Supers, first time ever. Fourth 4 seed to ever sweep its regionals. Congrats to Chris Curry and company. Cal had some thoughts that we can get into in our SEC update about when the postseason tournament should take place. So we still got plenty to get to here on the Morning Rush. As we're live in Lawrence, Kansas, just reacting to Arkansas's 13-10 loss to Kansas yesterday. And Tommy, like you said, we got, like a day or two more of baseball.
Yeah.
And we're 96 days out from football, and then that turns up.
The fun-filled football conversations are coming up.
And that's, as we close out this segment here, I mentioned this at the top of the show. I think part of the reason, and listen, you're frustrated on any baseball conclusion of the season. I remember how painful it was last year. This year is just it's just a bummer how it concluded. But there's nothing, you're not like, man, I am jacked for football. I'm jacked for a team that, man, I feel like we can compete in the SEC and everything else. And I don't get that sense from our fans and our listeners that that's how you feel about this upcoming season. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Ryan Silverfield shuts me up and they go like 8-4. I don't anticipate that this year.
Well, just don't shut up for the next 96 days, because we got a lot of talking to do over the next 3 months. All of our coverage in Lawrence, Kansas, presented by Foster Roofing, trusted, experienced roofing contractors in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley for over 30 years. Check them out online at roofwithfoster.com. By Orr Auto Park. Prices have never been lower on new Chevrolets, new Nissans, and quality pre-owned vehicles at Orr Auto Park in Fort Smith. Orr Auto Park wants you to get the vehicle you want. And by the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery creates winning people, winning futures, and winning moments. That's the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
SEC update when we come back. We keep it going on the Morning Rush next.
It's tournament time in Arkansas, and the Razorbacks are on the road to Kansas for the 2026 Lawrence Regional. Our exclusive coverage of the regional round is brought to you by Foster Roofing, or Auto Park's once-a-year friends and family sale going on now through May 31st. Our regional coverage is also brought to you by the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
We'll be in the portal pretty good.
This is the Morning Rush.
Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lutz boxes set a high standard for luxury. With the iconic $5 box, the decadent $7 box, or the extravagant $9 box. And when you experience the opulence of crunching into the grilled cheese tortilla shell of the shredded beef dippy taco in the $9 box, you may even let the Lutz go to your head. Get your $5, $7, or $9 Lutz box today, only at Taco Bell. Limited time at participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary. Freezes and specialty drinks not included. Tats extra.
When a business has been around more than 65 years, you know they're doing something right. Hey, Ty Richardson for Johnny's Transmission. They've been trusted in Fort Smith and the River Valley since 1959. Located at 1212 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, they strive to make every customer's experience outstanding and want your vehicle to be in the best condition for the road ahead. Check out their website, johnnystransmissionfs.com, and find them on Facebook. Johnny's Transmission, family owned and operated since 1959.
Dental emergencies do not wait, and neither should you. At Valley Urgent Dental, they're here for you on the weekends, whether it's a broken tooth, a painful infection, or a crown that's come loose. Dr. Kendall Roberts and Dr. Doug Terry are ready to help. Why wait till Monday? Call 479-235-5655 now. Valley Urgent Dental is located at 5505 Uper Lane behind Golden Corral in Fort Smith. Valley Urgent Dental, emergency dental care when you need it most.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
A friend is someone who knows where you came from.
Someone who always shows up when you need them. Someone who's there for the good times and the challenging ones. With comprehensive insurance policies backed by award-winning customer service, Shelter Insurance is committed to being there when you need us most.
Call your local shelter agent, Ryan Hughes, in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion. You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
But this afternoon is a day for the Razorbacks to celebrate. Arkansas wins the tournament.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Drive deep right. Van Cleve. Madness in Morgantown. A 2-run go-ahead home run for Paul Schoenfeld.
Did anyone watch the craziness that took place in Morgantown, West Virginia with the West Virginia Mountaineers, the Kentucky Wildcats? Did either of you guys get a chance to watch it?
You think Lawrence, Kansas was a weird place where people acted strange? I can only imagine Morgantown on a baseball weekend.
Tommy, I've got a buddy that's actually working there. He was working there for ESPN, and he told me, Ty, I've been coming to Baum Walker for 20-plus years. I have never, ever seen the craziness there that I've seen here this weekend. Apparently, those two fan bases have not meshed whatsoever.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so it was, what'd you say, Colton?
That goes back to Hatfields and McCoys, Kentucky and West Virginia. They hate each other.
Yeah, so that was that took place. West Virginia needed that comeback, that go-ahead home run, and now they're playing Kentucky at 5 o'clock today for the rights to move on to the Super Regionals. As far as today goes, featuring Oklahoma still with a chance to beat Georgia Tech in Atlanta. If they do, the Super Regional will be in Lawrence for the first time ever, and you have Oklahoma and Kansas fans. I'm guessing that would be similar to the interactions that we saw this weekend with Arkansas fans. Troy's got Florida for the closeout game in Gainesville, and then Milwaukee against Auburn. Matt was talking about that. Feels like Auburn's going to move on. What a weird start. Auburn's down 10-0 in that initial game and ultimately lose.
Yeah, so they were out of the gate 0-1. If I've counted it right, there are 7 total games today. So 7 of the 16 regionals needed a 7th game to determine the winner of that regional. So very interesting there. And you went over the SEC teams, including A&M, including Kentucky, Florida playing Troy today. The winner of that game gets Little Rock, who we've talked about. You mentioned Auburn playing Milwaukee, and then Oklahoma and Georgia Tech. So an interesting deal with 7 games today to sew up the final teams to get in the Super Regionals.
And while they're not an SEC team, we do have to mention Chris Curry's squad and them getting a win, heading to the Super.
Swing and a miss. It's over. Little Rock breaks through. This improbable, remarkable, magical postseason run is going to continue to the Super Regionals next week. A program first.
So let me ask this question. Obviously, if Florida beats Troy today, that's going to stay in Gainesville because they're hosting the regional. What if Troy beats Florida? Then you got Troy and Little Rock. Which school would get the Super Regional?
Troy was Colton, correct me if I'm wrong, Troy was a 3 seed, correct? So that it would be in Alabama. I'm 99% sure they were a 3 seed. So Little Rock would go up against a former Sun Belt foe, as we were talking about before, which would be great for just mid-major baseball to see both those teams advance.
Wouldn't it be something if there was a Super Regional in Arkansas, but it wasn't in Fayetteville?
Yeah, if it was in Little Rock.
Wouldn't that be something?
I don't even know. Is it, Tommy, is there a ballpark? Yeah, I know it's Dickie Stevens for the Travelers, but is it Jack T. Stevens?
No,
is that
they have an on camp? I don't know the name, but in Arkansas's played there. They have an on campus facility.
Okay, because I think their basketball arena is Jack T. Stevens, but I could be wrong at that.
Gary Hogan Field.
Thank you, Gary Hogan Field. Did you see? And last thing here in our SEC update. By the way, Ole Miss won their Lincoln Regional. They've moved on to the Supers. Texas won theirs as well. Did you guys see the Trey Phelps thing with Georgia? I don't to me, I know what the excuse was. He was looking at his, I don't know, his family or friends or whatever, which were above the dugout. But to me, it looked like it wasn't that. I don't know. What did you make of the kicking out and then Wes Johnson subsequently tossed as well?
I just have read about it. I have not seen the video, so I don't.
Oh, you haven't?
I have
Okay.
not seen that. So,
what do you think, Colton?
Kind of the same thing that you were. I thought that at first it looked to be a little trivial. Guy was just celebrating. He said that he was pointing to his family up in the stands, and that may very well may be the case. But there is rules that you have to follow after a home run, after what you're supposed to do, and that's give your bat, throw your bat, and go take your base. And Wes Johnson's just defending his player.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's nothing you can say.
Yeah, he's
about
got to
that.
get thrown out at that point.
At that point,
with his player getting thrown out. But there are umpires that want to move on to the College World Series, and there are rules they're told to enforce. And sportsmanship, I can assure you, in any postseason at any level, when you're given the do's and the don'ts, they never say, you know what, let sportsmanship slide a little bit this weekend. We're not going to worry so much about taunting or making a mockery of the game. Just look the other way when someone's acting out of line when it comes to sportsmanship. That is never said to basketball, football, or baseball umpire, I can assure you. And what you don't want to do is let that happen right in front of you as an official, and then you just got scratched right off the list. And I'm sure that was a point of emphasis somewhere along the way.
He was, cheering or pointing to his family is what he said, his parents. But if his parents were coincidentally sitting right above the Liberty dugout, so it's kind of
be smarter than that.
You got to be smarter.
Got to be smarter than that.
All right, last thing here in your SEC
Your mom
update.
and dad's going to love you regardless if you point their direction.
Yeah. Cal said, and this is Brandon Marcello, an idea about the SEC tournament is final team play 4 games, no postseason in the SEC tournament, play 3 games in a row to reach the NCAA tournament, and every team play at least 3 games to kind of, he said at the beginning of the season, right, Colton? Was it I can't remember if it was the beginning or the middle. But the idea of just maybe shifting that SEC tournament around a little bit to where it is at the end of the season.
He wanted it in November.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was at the very beginning of the season, which you've got. When is I know they changed the dates. When is the SEC ACC Challenge or the ACC SEC Challenge? Is that in December now?
Yes.
That's when you play Louisville.
We played
last
Louisville
year.
like December 3rd or 6th or somewhere in there. 3rd last year.
What do you guys
December.
think about that idea of starting things a little bit early?
Oh, I think by and large, if your team is not in the college football playoff, most fan bases get nothing to be excited about for a home game, and sometimes even road games. Arkansas's had a few marquee games now that Calipari's here, but yeah, I am all for having better basketball in the month of December. all for it.
I think it's good on paper, Ty, but at the end of the day, the conference tournaments are a huge part of the television.
They're not getting rid of
everything like that. They're not going to switch that back and forth
No.
because conference tournaments are a lead up to captivating an entire television audience for the month of March.
Now, if you told me in baseball to switch sports,
okay,
all right, we got 10 SEC weekends right now. What if we started 1 week earlier and got rid of the conference tournament in Hoover and went 1 week later and had 12 conference weekends and a more balanced schedule? You still wouldn't play everybody, but you'd play, let's see, you'd play 12 of 15. And you could have some, I could get on board with that in baseball where
you'd be for it.
I'd be for it. You get one more home weekend, you'd be on the road one more weekend. But I think as we've seen this year in Hoover, you can play your way to the finals, and it wasn't enough with the committee. You can probably do more for your RPI having 2 more weekends of SEC baseball. That'd mean an earlier weekend in March, but it also mean a later weekend in May. I wouldn't be against in baseball. If there was one sport I thought you could get rid of a conference tournament and it wouldn't matter financially, and you could actually improve the chances of some of your teams getting better spots in postseason, it would be in baseball. And that's what I'd like to see them consider is 12 SEC weekend conference tournament, and that's how the baseball season should roll.
All right, that's your SEC update here live from Lawrence, Kansas.
You know,
this morning.
summer arrived over the weekend and in a hurry. It was a warm weekend in Arkansas, so it's time to get ready to get your days on the water and take them to the next level with a boat from Cofer's Boat Center. They're on Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, and they want you to stop in their showroom, explore all the available models, and see how you could upgrade your summer fun to the next level at Cofer's. Find them online at Cophers.com. That's COPHERS.com to see the most up-to-date photos of in-stock inventory that's online at your fingertips right now. That's Cofer's Boat Center, Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give them Bill and the crew a call, 648-3483, 648-3483. I don't know what it was like in Lawrence, Kansas, but like Thursday we had spring, and Friday we had summer, and Saturday we had summer, and yesterday we had summer. I mean, it was a welcome to welcome to summer
Welcome
weekend.
to summer.
Yeah.
It got hot a little bit. Props to the Arkansas and Kansas fans that weathered the hot the last few days, because while it started out raining kind of that Thursday and Friday, Tommy, it got humid here in
it did
Lawrence,
here.
Kansas.
All that rain we got was starting to steam out of the ground. The grass you could see the grass growing. I mean, but it was. I went out Friday after work. It just like zap. If you weren't like mentally, it wasn't physically. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't mentally ready for it because it's been really nice. I went and hit a few golf balls for about 20 minutes. I'm like, heck with this. I'm going to the bar. This is nuts. It was just hot. And then mentally I was prepared for it the next day, but Friday, it was like, this is no fun.
Well, guys, while I am coming home without a team that's moving on, I'm not coming home empty-handed. Now, while this team did not end up in Omaha, Nebraska, I got you, Colton, and Big C. I don't know. I know our video quality is not great, but I got you each College World Series hats. They're white. They're nice. And before you ask if they were free or not, they're not free. I intentionally bought all 3 of them for you guys. So while, again, this team did not make it to Omaha, Nebraska, you can at least wear a hat of the Emerald City. And this is comfortable, too. I put it on just to see how it was like. So I've got a couple of those that are coming home this weekend. So you
put my hat on your head?
Well, it can be Christian or Colton's.
Okay.
One of them has my grease riddled through the hat now. I just don't know which one it is because I've kind of crumpled
since Christian's not in here, maybe not listening, we'll let him have that one.
Okay. Well,
or maybe you could keep that one.
No, I'm not going to deprive Big C from one of these hats. They're cool.
Oh, you
hats.
didn't get you one?
No, I've got enough hats. I've kind of sucked into just like buying golf hats if I'm going to buy a hat. Really kind of taking on that niche. All right, Joel in Prairie Grove texted.
Well, you are Ty the golf guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Your words, not mine.
Well, your Twitter handle, not mine.
And Instagram, too. Yeah. Don't forget about that. All right, back to football.
Ty the golf guy. How many rounds you got in the 70s? None.
We got a few of the 80s, though. We're going to get there at some point. I just need to practice.
I got practice. Yeah, I got faith in you.
You get there. It's one step at a time. You got more faith in my golf game or the football team this year?
Ooh, I need to write that down for a Morning Rush Daily question.
Do I have a chance to break 80, or does the football team have a chance to go to the bowl game?
I've never seen Ty putt, Tommy, but I've seen him swing it, and I've seen him swing it because he posted a video on social media.
It's so bad I may buy him a putting lesson.
I will say this: I've seen that swing, and I would still pick him over the football team.
Well, Joel and Prairie Grove feels like with their schedule that he can shock some people just to get 6 wins. But right now he feels like 5 is more realistic. The over-under right now is 4.5. I did see that the line has gone down a little bit in the Utah game, where it's just like 7.5 now in favor of the Utes, which to me is not like an egregious visiting line. Like, that's kind of tighter than I thought it would be. But with baseball ending, we're going to have to talk more football now.
Well,
so what do you think, Tommy?
I'm looking at the schedule right in front of me.
Okay.
Big C's got it taped up here. It's semi-straight. I can read it, and I can circle North Alabama and Tulsa.
Okay.
And then I go through the rest of it, and there's like not another game I can circle. So we got to figure out where you're going to steal 3 other wins. Because I think 5, if you could win 5, I would be really happy with Ryan Silverfield
I would
in year
too.
1. And I know that we don't go to a crappy bowl game with 5 wins. But it would confirm or affirm, or whatever word you want it would affirm to me that you've chosen the right leader and you're headed in the right direction. And then some of that, you win 5, but you got to play well against some of the better teams too. So
I want you to think about last week as a sports radio conversation, just what we discussed. You had Billy coming back, Malik left, or stayed put, I should say. You have a College World Series softball team for the first time ever. You have another baseball team in postseason. What was the most talked about thing last week? It was the schedule. It wasn't even close. It was the fact he got the 3 games out, television. Hunter put out that statement, and people were ticked. And it wasn't even close. So despite one above 500 football team since 2012 in the SEC, this fan base has continuously loved this team and loved this program.
That's a great point by you.
It is bared out in not just sports radio conversation, but them continuously showing up for games. And I just hope, kind of like you said, I would be thrilled if they got 5 wins. Now, obviously, that sounds like loser talk because it's under 500. But
it's the start of something.
Yeah.
It's the start. You know, you're not going to get to the end of your conclusion. You better not in year 1 with Ryan Silverfield, or it went really bad. But it would be the start of something if you could get to 5 wins. That's the way you convince the next group of transfers and high school players to come sign on, is look what we've started. Help us finish it. You got to have something, and I think it's really important you get like South Carolina at Texas, LSU, win 2 of those 3, North Alabama, Tulsa, still one else somewhere else, and end with some momentum would be an ideal situation.
And as popular as Darius Acuff was this last year, you've had some great basketball players on this campus in recent years. Baseball as well. You think about the popularity of Hagen Smith or Kevin Kopps. There's nothing more popular on an SEC campus than a great football team. And the quarterback specifically.
And a quarterback for a good football team.
Yes. And so, like, I think about, and I was talking to some Arkansas media members about this weekend, like, and I'm not going to say names, but we know KJ is going to be the starting quarterback. Like, I know they've kind of played this thing out, and Cramsey and Silverfield, like, well, it'll go into fall camp. Like, KJ is your starting QB. And in my mind, it's like you want to name him as soon as possible in fall camp so you can get him as many reps as humanly possible with the ones, right? Like, you got to get you don't have to get him ready for
You don't have to name him to give him the reps. I mean,
that's true.
The team's going to pick the quarterback. That's the way it works. The team's going to play a little better, a little quicker, a little with fewer errors, fewer missed assignments. They're going to have a little bigger level of energy when one guy's in versus the other. It's just going to be a smoother operation. The other 10 guys are going to bear out over camp who that quarterback is going to be. And if you got to stand there and you got to watch it like the coaches will and then analyze the film, the answer will bear itself out over the first couple of weeks of camp based on the way the team performs. And that's who the starting quarterback will be. Which one of these guys makes the team play better? And that's That's where we're going to be. Hey, we were talking about fishing a minute ago, and the folks at Kofer's. Why don't you get a boat from Kofer's, then head up to Bull Shoals, and then call home base for the time you're there, Gaston's White River Resort. Father's Day weekend coming up. Got a big weekend, probably planned for your summer, whether it's 4th of July or, hey, there's an anniversary coming up, a birthday coming up, whatever's on your calendar. Or, hey, where I work, we take off the first 2 weeks of July. Well, why don't you call now and get a cabin or a lodge reserved at Gaston's White River Resort. Get one of their fishing guides to take you out and have a great time on the river. If you're going to be there 2 or 3, 4 days, at least get out and do a half-day trip, a day or two. If you go to Gaston's, you're going to have a great time. But if you don't do the fishing or you just from the bank, it's going to be fun. But you could take it to the next level with at least a half-day or a full-day guided fishing trip with one of their pros. 870-431-5202. Go online at gastons.com, see the pool and the other amenities as well. That's 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Tune into June with Lewis Automotive for your next ride, where you'll get top trade values and massive
Tommy
savings.
Kraft here. When it came time for
Serving Northwest Arkansas for 80 years strong.
We're losing 2 big-time leaders that have made their mark with Arkansas Razorback baseball and me personally.
This is the Morning Rush.
Are you ready?
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Kevin Hart here to tell you all about Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa. Hey guys, I kind of feel like you're chopping off my head a little bit. I'm the money. Don't forget that. It's spicy, balanced with a sweet and tangy citrus touch that makes everything taste even better. And the best part is it comes with, I kind of still feel like you ain't got all of me. The best part is it comes with anything on the Cantina menu. So you better try it before it's gone.
New jalapeno citrus salsa, the sauce with more main character energy than Kevin Hart.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they love the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with the free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Tommy Kraft here.
We head back to Arkansas. Tommy, just not enough pitching yesterday defensively. Your fielding failed you at times, and now the baseball season's over, and we can hear from Dave a little bit more throughout the week and kind of his reaction to yesterday and what needs to happen.
Yeah, in the next week or two, he'll be busy with the portal. He'll have his end of season press conference, which is always very enlightening, and he'll tell us kind of exactly what some of the behind the scenes things were happening. What'd you say? 96 days from football right now?
96,
yeah.
Baby.
Hey, get ready for game day, which is coming up on September 5th against North Alabama, and the brand new Razorback mobile app that's available on the iPhone and Android devices. You can download your game tickets, follow your favorite teams, and access exclusive content all in one place. Download for free in the App Store today. It's the Razorback app, and get game day ready.
All right, halftime's coming up next with Matt Jones, Christian Johnson, and Colton Little. More reaction from them over the weekend. And, again, just not a great weekend. Thunder lost, softball team lost, and baseball team lost as well, Tommy.
Special thanks to Foster Roofing, roofwithfoster.com, for sending you up to Lawrence. Also, Orr Auto Park in Fort Smith. You always get more with Orr. And the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
Followed by Ruskin and Zach is coming up after halftime. So plenty of reaction today. Stay with us right here on ESPN Arkansas and hit that line.com.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving